Hello, 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 and welcome to Real Talk. We're glad to have all of you to join us on tonight. As always, we have a good topic, a good conversation. I think we need to have on tonight, and we plan on getting your point of view on it. We want you to share this information in order to join us here on our show tonight. Um, that you can tune in, of course, several ways. Facebook Live, you can join us on Facebook Live. You can join us on YouTube. You're able to join us on Twitter. Of course, Twitter is our platform of communication as well. Okay. And also, we had a conference call number up for those that desire to dial in to the conference call. Okay, dial into the conference call. How you doing this evening, Bishop T?
I'm well, Pastor Z. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Good.
You got your snow boots ready?
You think it's gonna do something?
I don't know how much, but
You think we're gonna get a little bit?
we should get a little bit Saturday, and of course it's going to be very cold early Sunday morning. So we'll see. This weather is tricky. I know a lot of people I'm working with is coming down with sinus infections because one minute we have the AC on and then we're popping the heat back on. So what we're looking, we just got to be prepared. Be prepared. Any updates on what's going on over in Russia and Ukraine?
It's as much as I could just see today, it's still much of the same. Um, I
They're
think there was
violating all type of war rules, aren't they?
humanitarian restrictions and all, and rules and regulations. I think they say somebody was already thinking about bringing him up on war crimes. But it's pretty much the same. I did hear them say that approximately 3 people leave parts of Ukraine into those surrounding areas every 2 seconds.
Well, there's a lot we're going to discuss concerning that. There are some things I want to talk to you about. The WNBA star that was arrested over there, and don't know if she's going to ever make it back to the United States or if they're going to use her as bargaining chips to lighten up on the sanctions in order to get her back. Also, them bombing places like the Children's Hospital. And I saw today where they had a total family that was killed, just laying in the street, dead.
It's been several situations like that with people because the last report, in some of the reporting, he was bombing areas where they were supposed to be able to evacuate without that. So it's been several families, that the whole families have been just wiped out. Um, yeah.
So we're looking forward to talking about it. We're looking forward to talking about it and having a great show on tonight. We do want all of you to feel free to comment, feel free to share, feel free to comment, feel free to ask any questions. We're going to talk about a few things on tonight. Also, we do want you to tag people into this. Tag people into this particular show. We're here every Thursday, 6:15. Every Thursday at 6:15. Hello, Sonia Adams, Miss Marion Miller Johnson. Hello, how are you? Glad to have you all on today. Hello, Miss Mary Smitherman, Miss Jacqueline Summerlin, Miss Candice Watson, Miss Katrina Davis. Hello, Stephanie Horton. Hello. Tag as many people that you can get in touch with into our show on tonight. Pastor Hicks, how you doing, man? Hello, Stephanie Horton. How are you? Uh, Good to have all of you on. We're getting ready to get started with our show on tonight, and we're looking forward to having a great talk tonight. So if you're ready, we're ready. Let's go.
Real Talk disclaimer. The information provided by the host on this platform is for education and awareness purposes only. All information provided on this platform is provided in good faith. We make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, validity, and reliability of information shared by the host or show guests. The views and opinions of guests on the show do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the host of Real Talk. Under no circumstances do the host, show guests, sponsors, or affiliates assume responsibility for the actions of any viewer.
Okay, again, welcome to Real Talk. We're so happy to have you on. Yes, we do have the conference call number up and running, 1-646-224-5980 for those who would like to tune in just by audio. But do share the other information. I see you have quite a few people that are joining us on tonight. And we're glad that you're tagging other people in. Hello, Miss Shannon Wyatt. Hello, Miss Tara Marbury Townsend. Welcome to Real Talk. Welcome to Real Talk. We was talking about the Ukraine and the Russia situation. Let's go ahead and kind of share with you Brittany Grimes, who played with Baylor, who's actually a part of the WNBA, and I think she goes over to Russia to play ball, and she's stuck over there. I heard that she was over there and she had some of this oil,
CBD or cannabis.
Okay, and they arrested her. And they was talking to a lady today on CNN, and they were saying that this lady said that her sister been over there since 2018, and they have not been able to get her from over there. They don't know if they're going to use this as a bargaining tool in order for them to lighten up the sanctions that the U.S. have put on Russia. Also, they're questioning Putin's mind. From my understanding, he's supposed to have cancer, and they seem to think that his mind is not what it should be, and the the attacks and the things that he's doing is that apparently something's supposed to be going on with his mind. Your thoughts on any of that?
Well, I hadn't heard anything about his sickness, but I think who Putin is just coming out. I think it's just coming out. I hadn't heard anything about his state of mind or him possibly having cancer or anything like that. But I just think that from everything that I've been watching and looking, I think it's just who he is. I think he's inhumane, because you see innocent people that are being killed. You spoke earlier about the hospital, the children's hospital. That is one of the instances he has targeted, or there have been targets that were near daycares and schools and all. So, you know, complete living quarters being wiped out. So I don't know that it's behind the sickness or his mental state, but I think that from what I've known about Putin before now, it's just he's evil. That's who he is. It's,
Yeah.
it's just who he is. You know,
Now I was looking at the news and I saw where some of the Russian troops had no idea that they was going over there to attack Ukraine. From my understanding, they thought it was supposed to be a exercise that they was going through, and it turned out that now they're over there, in the middle of a war. They're losing their lives as well, and I think some of those Russians are giving up as well. Some of the Russian troops, and there's no water, no gas, no food, and of course they say it's snow there. Um, so
and really, when you think about it, if it's something you really been paying attention to all along, nothing. Russia really does not. Russia is not getting a true um is not getting the truth or a true picture of what is really going on in Ukraine. Because unlike the United States, Russia's media is censored. Their journalists can't just don't have the liberty that they have in the United States. So Russians are not really, they're not seeing the truth. And then if you look at what Putin has said, his reason for being there, his reason was being there was to the immortal things that were going on in Ukraine. I think the because that's the homosexuality, because that's the real issue with Brittany, is that they are afraid even for her safety because of his thoughts and how they are with homosexuals. And I can't remember what the other thing was, the other situation was. It'll come to me. Yeah, it was as though like the hatred of something with those people who inflicted pain on the Jews, Nazis. So they don't have a true sense or picture of what's going on. It's what they're seeing in Russia is censored. And it's censored to look a certain way. Like even the fact that you see all these major companies pulling out of Russia. McDonald's has closed some 800 and something odd restaurants. Starbucks is doing the same thing. And if to hear some of the comments with regards to those major companies pulling away from Russia, it's just they really have a devotion to their leader and to their country, or they really don't know what's going on. Because some of them were like, we'll still survive, take McDonald's, take Starbucks, we'll still be here. we'll still stand. We'll still stand. So, that situation with Putin, from what I see, and I'm not on top of it every day and really into it to know, but I just think Putin is who he is, and I think he's causing a major, we could very well be on the brink of World War III. And because, that's the whole idea with the no-fly zone, what that will spiral things into. So I think that I do think to a certain degree he's been underestimated. And I don't think that that's going to necessarily be from this administration. I think that previous administration, he's been underestimated.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it was the fact that he was underestimated. I think that it's a possibility there was some collusion there. They kind of, I think President Trump helped him maneuver some things in Ukraine where when he left office, he could now go in and do what he wanted to do, because I think it was something with the weapons was taken from Ukraine. A lot of weapons was taken from him while Trump was in office, and now Russia has a great advantage against those Ukrainian people. But
I see the resilience, the courage of the Ukrainians to stand their ground, and they're doing just that. They are making it. It hasn't been an easy war for Putin. So I think they are standing their ground, and weapons have gotten to them, and even more getting to them. But even they're doing simple things, just simple things like at every intersection of one town, everybody was asked to bring car tires and put them at the intersection to keep them out. They succeeded at that, so they are very resilient, and they're full of courage. Families being separated, men, husbands, sons, having to leave families, and it's been difficult to watch. And I think the most difficult thing for me is that this is 2022. Yeah. So that's the difficult thing, and just really where we are,
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned the year and where we are, because we're about to show the people tonight a clip taken of something that happened right down the road from Gaston, Alabama. Actually happened in Sylacauga, Alabama, at Sylacauga High School. Our show tonight is having real talk about real issues. And if you can't handle real talk, then this show is not for you. But we're about to talk about some real issues. We're in 2022, and here, right down the road, you find taking place at Sylacauga High School. Let's take a look.
There's a school teacher, according to multiple citizens of the state of Alabama. They have highlighted this on social media. A school teacher has a photo that has now surfaced posing with a Curious George emblem in reference to Black History Month. It reads, "This is George. He is a good little monkey and always very curious." The image that associated the monkey cartoon to Black History Month was shared to social media in a post demanding action be taken against the teacher. Now, we at Indisputable, we were contacted directly by school teachers at her school, because they said after being approached about it, she absolutely faced no penalty, no discipline. And so some of those school teachers reached out to us. Let's put up the picture again. All right, so this is Randy Roberts. She is a special education and student council faculty member at Sylacauga High School in Alabama. The district has written a seemingly unfinished bio on the school Facebook page. The city school does not discriminate on the basis of color, race, religion, or national origin. All right. Here are the school officials who have yet to address the photo or issue a statement regarding the teacher's future employment. That's the principal. His name is Matthew Hodge. All right. There's also a superintendent who's in charge of him. Her name is Dr. Michelle Eller. As of now, Ms. Roberts is still employed by the high school following the spread of this racist image. Now, according to the sources that contacted Indisputable directly, school teachers in that school, they said, oh, she was very apologetic. However, no penalty, no statement, no training, nothing.
Let me say this. This is why we should not be limited to 1 month. Somebody said y'all should address that last month. Black history is everyday history. It's everyday history. We face these type of things every day, and the fact that this woman is teaching special education and she is a student, she's a part of the counselor, and this is what you sharing with the children there. Then it's at Sylacauga High School, and I think they said it was like 35% African Americans at that school. And then nothing is done. How do people continue to do things like this and it's swept on the rug like it doesn't matter?
I need to say a number of things, and I'm gonna have to go back to some things, even with the pro basketball player. But let me say this: where we are now, and I'm gonna try to be very brief with my statement. Black History Month, and I agree with you. It shouldn't be limited. But who has power over that? Who has control over that? No one should have to give us a month, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year to celebrate our history. So let me make this statement first. These type things are not the things that we should celebrate in Black History Month. If we're gonna celebrate, we're celebrating history. We're celebrating legacy. We don't want to overshadow the rich history that we have, the rich accomplishments that we have with these type things. These type things go on every day.
Every day.
12 months of the year. Let's not confuse these type situations with Black history. Black History Month is to celebrate. And then we have to make a conscious decision. Okay, they allow us 1 month to celebrate back history. But what do we do as a race of people those other 11 months? How do we bring it up? From whatever your profession is, do we continue to celebrate our history the other 11 months? That's how I feel about that. Now, as far as this situation, most of the times these things are not dealt with until they are brought to the public or exposed. Let me say it that way. Till they're exposed. And I think that based on the negative criticism, based on it getting out, I think they will eventually take some type of action against her. But if too many times these things go unmentioned, unnoticed, because not enough of us are offended by it. It's when enough of us get offended and it get exposed, because this is taking on national attention now. So I feel like eventually they'll do something to her. They'll do something to her because of the publicity that it's gotten. What troubles me more than that is that why does it have to come to the fact that it gets publicity for you to know that it's wrong and for you to deal with it? You know, and you know, are we any better? We had a show about that. Have we overcome? Are we overcoming? Have we got? Are we any better today than we were 50 years ago, 60 years ago? Are we any better? So it makes me, we have to continue to make our people aware and of situations and circumstances. And you know, some people, you know who they are, because that she couldn't have had a problem with that because she went to social media with it.
Yeah.
You know, she went to social media.
And the thing is, if you're teaching anything, it ought to be a curriculum of some kind. And how do you come up with a book about a monkey and celebrate Black history with it?
Okay, so I think what she did was she was degrading, and I think she intended to. That's why she got the book. I don't believe the book was a part of the curriculum. I don't believe she was using it as a part of the curriculum. I think she strategically chose what she did to, in some way, show her dislike or whatever about Black History Month. Right.
So pretty much she was making fun.
She's making mockery of
the race.
You know. And I think that we have to ask ourselves, because I often think back, and I know this is not what the show is about, but I often think back when Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders were pushing for desegregation. And I said this some time ago on the show, for desegregation, they were not necessarily saying, teach us all together, eat all together, whatever the case may be. Yes, we want to be able to go and, you know, but at the same time, we want, and let me use school names for back that time, we want Carver to be given the same books, the same material, the same whatever, the same amount per child as you would Gaston High or your white schools. You know, and so we have to look at it now. We have taken some of those same races or whatever, and they are sitting in front of our children. But I think at the same time, we have a responsibility as a race to ourselves. That's what I think. I think we have a responsibility.
So when you say that, when we have a responsibility, because somebody is probably listening to have no idea what you're talking about, explain that to them.
We have a responsibility to ourselves.
Yeah. Okay,
you give me 1 month, but I have a responsibility to teach my history.
Where?
I have a responsibility to teach my children.
Okay, your children. Okay.
My children. We have churches, you know, whatever. We have a responsibility to make our history known. And not just the negative parts of our history, but the positive, the good things about our history, the inventions, and how these inventions came about in this hardship. How we were still creative. I think that's We have to celebrate our history, celebrate our culture. Nobody else has to do that for us. Okay, like I said, you keep saying 1 month, 1 month, 1 month. Okay, we got 1 month. What do we want? 3 months to celebrate? Celebrate yourself 12 months out of the year, 365 days out of the year. Just because Black History Month is over doesn't mean we have to stop putting those proverbs, those African American proverbs up, those keep talking about our inventors. Just because the month is over, we still can continue that. We still can continue to keep Black history in the face. Celebrating it. That's the way I feel. And I hear about it 1 month, 1 month. We've been saying it ever since it came out. But what have we done to counteract that? Okay, they gave us 1 month. How about we continue? How about we still flood the social media platforms with Black history all year long, 12 months out of the year?
Well, one issue, and I agree with you, we need to celebrate Black History Month and celebrate ourselves and teach them. But explain to me, how can you celebrate us? How can we celebrate ourselves when we're killing ourselves, when we're attacking ourselves? How do you get people? Let me finish. How do you get people mindset to change about how you see your brother, how you see your sister? How do you see people of your own kind? How do we get the people to move from the crab mentality of always want to pull down the successful Black brother or the successful Black sister? That's the issue that I have, that we have too many crabs in our race, and we have too many people who are always doing their best. When you get, they're trying to take from you. Yeah.
And I hope that what I say you'll take this the way I'm saying it. First of all of that, the crab mentality rests within a remnant of people. This killing of each other, it exists within a remnant of people. But there are those people who are not killing each other. There are those people who don't have crab mentality. So I would say to you, what do? It's just like you and I. When you stand up to preach a sermon, it's some sinners in your church. When you stand up and preach your sermon, it's some folks that's righteous. It's some folks that's unrighteous. It's some folks that's good. It's some folks that's bad. But what do? You preach. You teach. And so we have to, as a race of people, we have to continue to empower our people. We have to continue to educate and equip our people. We don't stop because there is a crab mentality. We don't stop because there's Black on Black crime. And there's not just Black on Black crime. There's white on white crime.
We're not talking about whites, though. We're talking about Blacks.
We're not talking about
we won't talk about Blacks. Let's hold up. We'll get to the whites.
Let me
we'll get to the whites
because I want you to understand. I want you to understand my point. That's not the same as saying when we say Black Lives Matter and they say White Lives Matter. It is saying, why do you stop Black folk from killing Black folk? It's a murder. What do? And I'm not taking it away from it, but I'm saying we cannot take away our responsibility to us. We have to empower our people. When we sit on this show and we talk about these things and we gather and we make these comments, when we leave here, what is our aim in the community? You're a pastor, I'm a preacher, I've pastored before, there are preachers watching. What are we doing in our ministries to impact a community as it relates to just what you're saying. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John won't get it. So what are we saying? What programs are we putting together to help our young people aspire to be whatever it is they want to be successful? I'm saying we have a responsibility. And I'm saying it's going to be black on black crime. You're not going to get it to zero. But you stay in the community, empowering the community. You're not going to stop people. Here's another good point when you talk about crab mentality, because you also are going to talk about the critical race theory. Let's talk about the impact. Why do we have a crab mentality? Did it start yesterday? Did it start 10 years ago? No, it started in slavery. When the lynch man was brought in to teach us how to be against each other, to teach us how to all of that. So you can't, there's a domino effect for where we are today. It's a domino effect. And not only a domino effect, but when I even think about it, you think about the awareness that has been brought to the forefront, the awareness of systemic racism and all of that. Why? Because it is a series of events that have taken place in this generation, like the situation with George Floyd and the police and all of these, the situation with Ahmaud Arbery. There's an awareness now. How do we keep that awareness? What do we do with that awareness here? Exactly. Proactive. Continue to put it out there instead of us harping on this remnant of people who are crab mentality. What do we say? What do we continue to do? We celebrate.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Here we are in 2022. You said it yourself. Here we are in 2022. We've been doing and saying, I ain't saying stop saying it. But when people are on here talking about the solution solves things. And some of the things they say is the solution haven't solved anything yet. I'm not saying we don't keep encouraging and giving our people about the history and building our people up. I'm all for that. That's what I do. My ministry is all about encouragement.
Hold on for a second. We cannot just encourage with our mouths. We cannot just encourage by saying, oh, you did a good job, you this is that. We have to empower our people. How do we empower our people?
Good question. How are you empowering the people?
How am I empowering the people?
Yeah.
I'm encouraging, but I'm not.
Well, you just said what you just say to me.
No, wait a minute.
What
Let
you
me
just
finish
say to
my
me.
point. Let me finish
No,
my
you
point.
just said to me.
Let me finish my point.
You interrupted me. You interrupted me, and so I'm gonna interrupt you. You just said you got to do more than with your mouth. So tell me, what are you doing to empower the people?
I'm not doing anything right now, but I have a vision and a goal. And but I don't have an issue with it like you do.
I got an issue with our people killing each other. I got an issue with our people always tearing each other down. I got an issue with our people when they can allow the white man to attack the black man. Allow the white man can get in our heads or some of our people's heads to bring one of our people down. Yeah, I got an issue with that. I ain't gonna always have an issue with it.
I'm not saying you shouldn't have an issue with it, but what I am saying is, just like you asked me, what am I doing? You have issue with that, but what are you doing? You asked me, it's the same question. What are we doing as a people to combat that? What are we doing as a people? sitting at round table discussion, having discussions about done it, solve it. So I'm saying we as a people, not Andre, not Tanya, but we as a people have to empower our people. How do we empower our people? Not just talking to them,
Okay, well,
not
give
just
some
encouraging them.
examples.
We create programs.
Right.
We have to create. We create not only programs, but first thing you have to do, why do we feel the way we do? So, should I be creating jobs? A person feels better about himself when he has the background, the education, when he's qualified to go get a job or be able to get a job. So it's a number of things that we can do. It's a number of things that people are doing every day, but I'm saying we just have to keep hammering it out. We can't just continue to say, and I know it's going to be there. Crab mentality is going to be there. It stems back from the days of slavery. We have to continue to empower our people. From church to schools to whatever, we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to do whatever. If my creativity says, let me do a job fair, or let me do some class or some after school. How many after school programs do we have? And I'll say this, I look at New Liberty and Pastor Simmons. I look at the things that they have in place to help, what is it? The Initiative for Fathers or whatever it is. All of these things, to me, it's that. It's putting these things in place to empower our people. That's what I feel.
There's plenty of after school programs. We got plenty of them in the system. We got some of them in the churches.
So what are you saying?
You saying those things? We got those things.
So what are you saying? That's what I'm saying. You said they're already there. So I'm saying, what are you saying? What are you saying?
I'm saying that we have that.
So are you saying go beyond that?
Apparently we have to.
So you don't feel like the after school programs that are already in place, whether at church, on through the school or whatever, do you not feel like those after school programs are making a difference?
They're making a difference to the ones that attend. But you can't force people to go. And let me say this, the after school programs, very few people attend them. You have to force people to attend them.
So do you stop having them?
No, you don't. That's not what I'm saying.
Keep going.
But you still got to get people to attend it.
You keep going. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. If it's helping one, you keep doing it. That would be my answer. You keep doing it. You stick with it.
Critical race theory.
What really is it?
To me, they named it critical race theory because it was really sharing about what was really going on in history. So they make it out to be, they named it critical race theory because they said that it was pretty much enabling racism, because we was just being honest about it. Was the real true history was being shared. So governors start signing things into place in their states. I think Texas is one, to stop this history from being, African American history from being taught in their particular systems and schools, and people follow suit.
Now, I know what I do understand is that for most right-wing politicians, or with a large majority of the conservatives and Republican governors and states, I do know that they feel that it continues to divide. Like it pivots or pits people of color against white people. So like if I'm sitting in class or hearing and the things that are pointed out about the critical race theory, that it ignites a hatred in a person of color for white people. And that's why they fight against it. So, because I know even with Florida, he was doing something too. He's got a lot going on down there. Even with saying the word gay in grades K through 3. And then he was doing something, came up with this people hurting people's feelings because you talk about or you say something about racism or you mention racism.
But they will have an issue, or they have an issue with African American studies or the critical race theory or whatever that they but they don't have a problem with them sharing Curious George as a monkey to teach our people. Yolanda said those against critical race theory says that it makes white people feel guilty about actions of whites in the past. So it make the white people now feel guilty about what their forefathers did in the past. So they don't want that talk.
And I don't think many of them even believe that racism has shaped or has a place or is taking place in public policies, procedures, the justice system, the medical system. I just don't believe. I believe people who are against the critical race theory feel that racism doesn't exist and it's not causing the problems, and policies and procedures, and those policies are not being made as a result of racism. Because even when we look at what I think Texas today had an election. There was another state that put these new laws in place, and the number of return ballots that are coming back in early voting has just like tripled because of the laws and the things that they have put in place. And those things have been put in place as a result of racism. So they don't feel that. They don't feel the number of things that have taken place and take place every day, like the disadvantage of banks between blacks and whites, as that race plays an issue in banks loaning black folk money and not loaning black folk money. All of these systems, that race plays an issue, and it does. Race plays an issue in our justice system.
Yeah.
Though there are those people who are against the critical race theory because they don't see it.
Yeah, they don't see it. They don't see it. And I thought about that even when we talked about on the show the other week when we had someone on that kept talking about how they didn't think what we was talking about is right, or they're coming off as we being racist. What if the roles was reversed? What if the roles was reversed and things was happening to them as it has happened to us? I mean, would they be in the uproar? I see things on Fox News all the time. What they gripe about and complain about and upset about. It don't bother me half the time what they upset about, and what they agree with, I disagree with. And that's the thing, when things don't bother individuals instead of us looking at it as humans, and desire everyone to be treated fairly. When it doesn't bother you, it don't matter to you. But when we address what bothers us, then we'll criticize as being racist because we're addressing what bothers us. That whole deal with that teacher.
Can black people be racist?
I think anybody can be racist. Do you think?
Well, I question it because racism is usually a prejudice or being antagonistic and you against minorities, not a superior majority. That's the reason I asked that. That's something that I question to a degree.
Ms. Hardy said they can. I've heard, and I don't know this lady's name, but I see her on Twitter all the time, but she's actually African American and she is horrible. I mean, she actually hates her own people. I can't think of her name. You know what I'm talking about? She's on Twitter. And I wish I knew her name and I'll throw her picture up. But you have some people, you know, that dislike Lacey. Say her name Candace. I can't think of her last name, Lacey Robinson. What's her last name?
Candace Owens.
Okay, Candace Owens. She is horrible. Some of the things I see that she say against, you know, as if we just, I mean, she just really put us down bad. Well, how shocking was it that you discovered that incident took place right down the road from us?
I was well, it's Alabama.
I mean, I understand that, but it was real shocking to me that it was Sylacauga. I'm not saying that Sylacauga doesn't do things like that, but yeah. I didn't know it was going to be that close. You know. So here we are. We're still here in the 21st century, fighting that old demon racism.
On a good note, though, we got the thing that's going on with the African American, with the black lady, the black justice becoming Supreme Justice, Ketanji. What's her name? You know who I'm talking? Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah. So that's, you know, and you mentioned Hidden Figures a few weeks ago. I often think about a phrase that I heard in Hidden Figures: progress for one is progress for all. And so that's something that we can celebrate, no matter the negative criticism that some of the right-wing constituents are putting out there. But that's something that we can celebrate. History being made right before our eyes.
So it did go through?
No, I don't think they've started her.
They done some hearing with her, ain't they?
Have they? I don't know.
I thought they had already done a few hearings with her.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the challenging part, it being passed through, right?
Yeah, but I think the advantage with her was she wasn't that long ago that she got a bipartisan vote for the position that she has now, whatever it was. I think that was the step ahead that they were looking at with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let me go back. Let me go back to something that I want to say about the WNBA basketball player, because even there, and it was brought out earlier this week. Why is she playing for Russia? And I know a lot of the males, a lot of the men go and they do with some of these other countries or whatever. But I know they brought out the point of the money, the lack of money that the WNBA, that these women get paid, and how they have to go overseas, and they are considered as celebrities overseas. So here again, there's another injustice. There's a commercial now, and I don't know who is doing this commercial, but they have a black woman and a Caucasian man that are sitting next to each other. Both have on suits, and they talk about what they do. They talk about their profession. They talk about all these levels of their profession, and then when they get to the salary, the difference in the salary. So it is so much that we yet, and it's an awareness. I think that again is the time that we live in, how everything is changing, transitioning, transforming. And I think that there's just an awareness now that is before us with all of these injustices that we see.
You made mention about the money.
Miss Kimball said it's coming on March 21st.
Right. You make mention about the money, that the difference of the pay. And I just saw most recently, I think soccer team, the women's soccer team, have started a campaign to get paid the money that they are due.
They won.
They did win.
That's going to happen.
Well, it's going to trickle down to the other sports. I'm sure.
They won that case, and have already started to. There are some things that are already in place and taking place. So, they've been doing that. That case been going on for a minute, and they finally got the judgment or whatever. But it's so much taking place now, and I think that it's just Miss Harden said something earlier, being proactive and not reactive. And I think if you really think about that, that's what I think I will take out of this pandemic, is that I'll be more proactive than reactive. Let me say it that way, reactive.
All right.
What is this? Is that, are they talking to Miss Hardy? I see some comments about the teacher. Is she a first year teacher? Is that what they're saying?
That's the question.
Oh, okay.
Well, but you can be a sub and no better than that.
You don't think she knew better?
I know she know better. I
think she just did what she wanted to do.
Exactly.
She just did what she wanted to do.
This is Mr. Reddick, Superintendent of Gadsden City Schools. The critical race theory movement stems from a book written by Richard Delgado, presumed Hispanic, and his wife. The book is reported to provide a radical and challenging perspective that reveals how racism shapes the everyday reality of the world, from law enforcement, prisons, the economy, schools, media, and healthcare. I don't remember when it was first published, but it's in its third edition right now. Thank you, Mr. Reddick. Bishop, you have anything else?
No, I've enjoyed the dialogue tonight, and we have some thoughts that we can take from the conversation and work to make our lives better and the lives of others better.
And let me say this to you all that are watching. We're not going to always agree. And then there are some differences, and still we do our best to try to come up with good ideas to try to solve the problems. But at the end of the day, we want to solve the problems. Like we said, concerning the pandemic, everybody didn't want the shots, but we said at least wear your mask. We want to see everybody survive this pandemic. So we ain't falling out because we fussing at each other tonight.
Yes, we are.
Well,
I will not be talking to him for the next 7 days.
That's nothing new. She haven't been doing that anyway. Amen. Great topic choice. Thank you. Have enjoyed you guys. Good. One solution is to talk about it. That's right. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it.
You have to talk about it. You don't have to shout about it.
Or you okay? Well, I want you to review the. I want you to review the. All right, everybody. Have a good night.